Dear students, in this section, we are going to have a look at the type of questions which are based on the concepts of factorial and trailing zeros. So the kind of questions which says something that find the number of zeros at the end of, let's say a product would be given, a number would be given, and you are asked to find the number of trailing zeros at the end of the number. So let's understand the basic. So what is meant by factorial? So what is meant by this term factorial? So let's take a number n. So if the number is n factorial, what is meant by n factorial? The product of all the natural numbers starting from 1 up till n. So this is the meaning of factorial. So you can take an example, for example, 6 factorial. So what would be this meaning of 6 factorial? 1 into 2 into 3. You have to keep multiplying numbers up till 6. So whatever the value of this comes out to be, if you actually calculate the value, so 1 into 2, 2, 2 into 3, 6, 6 4s are 24, 24 5s are 120, 126 are 720. So this is the meaning of factorial. Now let us see a few basic properties of factorial. So first property says that n factorial is divisible by all natural numbers from 1 through n. So what is meant by this? So for example, let's take 23 factorial. 23 factorial. So 23 factorial will be definitely divisible by any number n which is in the range 1 by 23. So for example, I can safely say, without actually calculating, I can say that 23 factorial is divisible by 19 because I have chosen the number from this range. Why this happens? See, 23 factorial will be equal to what? 1 into 2 into 3 into this product up till 23. So this would also include 19. So when you try to divide this with 19, it is definitely going to get divided. So it doesn't mean that it will not be divisible by any number outside this range. So it does not mean that. It simply says that it is definitely going to be divisible by the numbers which fall in this range. Nothing else can be concluded. So at least the numbers that fall in this range are definitely going to divide. So another example, 97 factorial. Will this be divisible by 53? Definitely. Definitely it will be divisible. The next important property that you should be aware of is product of n consecutive natural numbers is always divisible by n factorial. So what does this mean? For example, product of any four consecutive natural numbers should be divisible by 4 factorial. So 4 factorial means 24. Let's see any four consecutive natural numbers. Let's take 11. So 11 consecutive, 11 into 12 into 13 into 14. So as per this theorem, this multiplication or this product should be divisible by 4 factorial. 4 factorial means 24. So let's verify. Is this divisible? So 12 2s are 24, 2 7s are, so completely vanishes. So yes, divisible. Let's take another example. Let's take 5 consecutive numbers. So starting from, let's say 17 into 18 into 19 into 20 into 21. So as per this theorem, this is the product of 5 consecutive natural number. So this should be divisible by 5 factorial. So 5 factorial is equal to 120. So let's verify this. Is this actually divisible by 120 or not? So let's see. So 26 times 6, 3 times. So this completely vanishes, completely cancels. So yes, you can see it is divisible. So this is what is meant by this statement. Now, this property says that a factorial divided by b factorial can be written as b plus 1 into b plus 2 into b plus 3 up till a. Now, what is meant by this? So it's better if you take an example, that will be more convenient for you to understand. So let's take example. One thing that needs to be guaranteed here is that a should be greater than equal to b, or a should be greater than b. So let's take an example, then you will understand what is meant by this. So 19 factorial by, let's say, 15 factorial. So if you see carefully, 19 factorial means product of 1, 2, 3 up till 19. Similarly, 15 factorial, if you will see, it will be the product of natural numbers up till 15. So if you think in terms of cancellation, so all these numbers would get cancelled by the numbers written above up till here. What you will be left with is 16 into 17 into 18 into 19. That means the product starts from b plus 1, 16, and goes up till a, 19. So this is what is meant. Similarly, 27 by 16 factorial would be equal to what? Start multiplying from 17. 17 into 18 up till 27. So this is what is meant by this property. Now let's understand the concept of trailing zeros. So let's take a product. So let the product n be the product of, let's say, numbers 120 into 80 into 125 into, let's say, 16. If the question is how many zeros are there at the end of these numbers, so how many zeros are at the end of these numbers? So 2 zeros are definitely going to be at the end of the number. But does that mean that only 2 zeros will be formed? No, it does not mean. For example, take another product, 12 into 15. Question is how many zeros will be there? So if you actually find out the product, how many zeros are there at the end? If you multiply, this comes out to be 180. So you see 1 0 at the end. But none of these number had 0 at the end. Still 0 is going to get created at the end. So just by looking at the product, you cannot say that how many zeros are going to get created. Yes, definitely 2 zeros will be there at the end, but it doesn't mean that there can't be more zeros. Definitely 2 zeros are going to be there. In this case, you saw that there was no 0 at the end of any of the numbers. Still 1 0 can be seen in the product. So these kind of questions. Now, what is the concept of trailing zeros? Whenever you multiply a even number, whenever an even number is multiplied with a multiple of 5, with a multiple of 5, 0 gets created. 0 gets created. What is 0? 0 being at the end means getting multiplied by 10. 7, no 0 at the end. If you multiply 7 with 10, it becomes 70, and then you say that see, 1 0 is at the end of the number. So what is the concept of trailing zeros? So whenever you take an even number 12 and you multiply it with something which is a multiple of 5, let's say 30, 35. So you are going to get 1 2 from here and 1 5 from here. So definitely 1 0 is going to get created in the product, because 2 is going to get multiplied by 5, so that would result in production of 0. But there are some cases where you have to be careful. Let's take for the example 8 into 125. So you can take 1 2 from here, you can take 1 5 from here. But the thing is, many 5s and many 2s are available here. So 8 is 2 cube, 125 is 5 cube. So you can see each 5 will partner with 2. So 2 into 5, 2 into 5 and 2 into 5. So in this case, 3 zeros get created at the last. Though none of the numbers had 0 at the last, but their product have 3 zeros at the last. So you have to see that how many pairings. So how many pairs of 2 and 5 are formed. So that many zeros will be found at the end, of the product, So this is the concept. You have to concentrate on seeing that how many pairs 1 2 getting multiplied with 1 5. So now let's have a look at the solved examples. You will get a better grip on the concept. Now let's see, n is equal to 5 into 10 into 15. That means n is the product of these numbers. So these numbers are basically multiples of 5. So let's see what n is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 and 50. So how many trailing zeros? So basically you have to see how many pairs of 2 and 5 will you be able to form. Now look carefully. How many powers of 5 are available here? How many powers of 5? So from this you will get one power of 5. 1 5 is hidden in this. In 15, 1 5 is hidden because 15 is a multiple of 5. In 20, 1 power is hidden. In 25, 2 powers are hidden because 25 is 5 square. So here 2 powers are hidden. From here, this is 30. Only 1 power of 5 you are going to get from 35. 1 power. From 40 again 1 power. From 45 also 1 power. But from 50 is a multiple of 25. So 55 is 25 into 2. So you are going to get 2 5s from here. So 2 5s. So how many 5s are available? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12. So 12 5s, 12 powers of 5 are available. It means 5 to the power 12 is waiting for its partner. Partner means 2. Let's see how many powers of 2 are available. Fine. Now let's see how many powers of 2 are there. So just the way we counted for powers of 5, now we have to count for powers of 2. So 5 does not contain any power of 2, so you don't get anything from here. From 2 you get 1 power of 2. This contains 2 to the power 1. From 15 you get nothing. There is no power of 2 here. From 20 you get 2 square because this is a multiple of 4. From 25 you get nothing. From 30 you get only 2 to the power 1 because this is a multiple of 2, not of 4, not of 8. From 35 you get nothing. From 40 you get 2 cube because 40 is a multiple of 8. 8 is 2 cube. From 45 you get nothing. From 50 you get only 1 power, 2 to the power 1. So how many powers of 2 are available? 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. So you can see, but only 8 powers of 2 are available. So how many pairs will get created? Therefore, only 8 pairs of 2 into 5 are possible. Therefore 8 trailing zeros will get formed at the end. 8 trailing zeros. Now look at this number. So n is basically product of all the even numbers starting from 2 ending at 200. So how many even numbers? 100 even numbers. First 100 even numbers. Question is, how many trailing zeros does n has? Let's see what n is equal to. So if you take 2 common, so this is equal to 1 into 2 into 3 up till 100. So taking 2 common means what? Can you take 2 common this method? No, this is wrong, because this is not plus. So taking 2 common, this is not how you take 2 common. So 2 from each. So 2 is 2, 4 is 2 into 2. Similarly, 6 is 2 into 3. 8 is 2 into 4 and so on. 200 is 2 into 100. So 1, 2 is taken out from each of these. So this is basically 2 to the power 100. So 2 is taken outside. What remains? 1 into 2 into 3 up till 100. So you can see that too many powers of 2 are available. So we have to form pairs. We have to form pairs of 2 and 5. So you see, many powers of 2 are available. So you need not worry about powers of 2. We have to basically find out powers of 5. So let's find out how many powers of 5 are available. Because there are sufficient number of 2's. Now partner is available. Let's find out the second partner. Second partner means 5. Then concentrate on this product. 5 cannot be found from here. You have to find 5 from these numbers. So look at these numbers. How many powers of 5 are available? Every fifth number is a multiple of 5. In this series, every fifth number is a multiple of 5. So every fifth number, that means 20 powers of 5 are definitely available. Every fifth number. So 100 divided by 5. So 20 powers of 5 are definitely available. But the catch is, look at these numbers: 25, 50, 75 and 100. From these numbers, you have taken out only 1 5, whereas each of these numbers contain 2 powers of 5. 5 square, 5 square, 5 square, 5 square is hidden within them. From these 2 powers, you have till now collected only 1 power. So we have taken one power out. So we have to go back and bring the remaining powers. So we have to go back to these 4 numbers. So these 4 numbers, 25, 50, 75 and 100. So basically we are going back to the powers of 5 square, multiples of 5 squares. So 4 such numbers are there. So 4 more powers of 5 are available. So total 24 powers of 5 are available. So what does this mean? 24 pairs would get created. So it means 24 trailing zeros. Because sufficient number of 2 is there. Limitation is created due to powers of 5. Sufficient number of 2 was available. That's why 24 trailing zeros will get created at the end. $20 factorial is completely divisible by 2 to the power n. Then the highest possible value of n is equal to what? So what is 20 factorial? Product of these numbers 4, 5 up till 20. So this is completely divisible by 2 to the power n. We have to find the maximum possible value of n. So let's see. This means, it means 20 factorial can be written as 2 to the power something into 3 to the power something into 5 to the power something. So if you divide this by 2 to the power n, what can be the maximum value of n? X, so that it gets cancelled. So basically you have to say, see or find out that in this product, from this product, how many powers of 2 are available. So the meaning of this question is, in this product, how many powers of 2 can be extracted, or how many powers of 2 are available. So let's figure out. So this is 20 factorial. In this product, every second number is a multiple of 2. That means every second number is going to give 1 power of 2. So in 20 numbers, every second number, so 20 by 2, these many powers I have taken out. So I take out these many powers of 2. Every second number gives me 1 power. So I take that out. So in 20 numbers, every second number, that's why I divide 20 by 2. So 10 powers I have already taken out. But what is the problem? From 4, I have taken out only 1 power. But 4 contains 2 powers of 2. Similarly, now concentrate on powers of 4. So you have done a mistake on powers of 4. Similarly, 8 contains so many powers of 2, but I have taken out only 1. So now what do? I go back and correct my mistakes on multiples of 4. I am going back because I have realized that I have left behind powers of 2. So now I am going back. Now every fourth number will give me extra power because I have forgot to collect that power of 2 from there. So every fourth, now I have to divide 20 by 4 because now every fourth number I am going to pick. So from 4, I have picked all the powers. I have corrected my mistake. From 8 also I picked another power. But now look, again the mistake is committed because from 8 I have collected 2 powers in 2 rounds. But 8 actually contains 3 powers. So I have to go for the third time. The third time my focus is on multiples of 8. Because from multiples of 8, I am expecting more powers which I have forgot to pick. Now I am going to every 8th number. So can you see a series, a pattern is getting created. Similarly, next time you are going to go for every 16th number, 16, 2 to the power 4. So a pattern gets created. So from 20 numbers, every second number is to be picked. So in first round, this was round 1. This was round 1. This was round 2. This is round 3. I went back in round 3 to pick the remaining powers. This is round 4. So in round 1, I picked 10 powers, 20 by 2. So 10 powers. In round 2, I picked 5 powers. 10, 5. In round 3, 20 divided by 8. You cannot write decimal. You have to write as integer. So 20 divided by 8, 2. 20 divided by 16, 1. So these many total powers, 10 plus 15, 17, 18. So 18 is the correct answer. Not that, I think there's a mistake here. 18. Now let's see this one. What is the highest power of 3 that divides 100 factorial? So what is 100 factorial? So this product is 100 factorial. So we have to see that how many powers of 3 can be collected. So in round 1, every third number 3, 6, 9, 12. So these type of numbers are going to give you at least 1 power of 3 is available in them. So in round 1, I go to every third number. So in first 100 numbers, every third number I will pick. So 100 by 3 powers, I will ignore the decimal part. So this is what will happen in round 1. So how much this is equal to round 1? 100 by 3, 33 point something, but obviously I cannot write decimal. Fractional powers are not available. Now look at the mistake. 9 is 3 square. 18 also contains 2 powers. 27 also contains 2 powers. So now basically I have to go searching for multiples of 3 square. In round 1, I simply picked multiples of 3 to the power 1. Now I am going in search of multiples of 3 square. That means every ninth number. So in round 2, how many numbers are going to be picked? 100 by 9. Now what is this 9? 9 is 3 square. So 9 is 3 into 3. Now understand something. 100 by 3 has already given you the result as 33. So instead of, see, now we have to solve 100 divided by 3 into 3. We already have the answer for this part. We already have the answer 33. So now this is 33 divided by 3. 33 divided by 3. So the next round you are going to collect 33 by 3. 11 more powers. Similarly in round 3, 11 by 3 more powers will be available. So 11 by 3, ignore the decimal part. So 3 in round 4, 3 divided by 3. That means 1 more power will be available. So just solve the first one and keep it dividing by 3. Don't take baby steps. So total powers 33. So I solved the first one. So 100 by 3. So 33. Now what I do? I keep on dividing this 33 by 3. So 33 by 3, 11. 11 by 3, ignoring the decimal part, 3. 3 divided by 3, 1. 1 divided by 3, meaningless because 0 point something. You have to ignore. So total powers 48. Let's see the next one. What is the highest power of 7 that divides 150? So let's begin. 150 by 7. So that is equal to 21 point something. So I cannot. So that's why this symbol is written. This symbol, greatest integer function, means ignore decimal part. This symbol, basically you can say that this symbol means ignore decimal part. So 50 by 7, 21. Now keep on dividing 21 by 7. So 21 plus 7. So 21 plus, now divide 21 by 7. So 21 by 7, 3 plus divide 3 by 7. It is meaningless to proceed any further. So stop here. So 21 plus 3, 24. Find the highest power of 5 that divides 555 factorial. Same logic. Start with the first value. So 555 divided by 5. So that is 111. So after this you don't have to calculate in this manner. So 111 plus 111 divided by 5. So 111 divided by 5, 22. Now next number 22 divided by 5. So 22 divided by 5, 4, because you have to ignore the decimal part. Next number 4 divided by 5. So meaningless. Now answer will be 0 because you have to ignore the decimal part. So stop. So 111 plus 22, 133, 137. So this is the final answer. Please mind, in the last 3 examples, the numbers that were given were 3, 7 and 5. So all these numbers are prime number. That's why this logic is applicable. What happens when the number is not a prime number but rather a composite number? Then how to approach? So let's see. Now let's see. Find the highest power of 24 that completely divides 100 factorial. So 100 factorial. Now 24 is not a prime number. This is not prime. So if you prime factorize, this is 2 cube into 3 to the power 1. It basically means to produce 24 3 powers of 2 pair up with 1 power of 3. You can see here. So now you have to see how many such pairs are possible. Pair means this you have to take one time and this one. So these are the 2 partners in the pair. So let's see how many powers of 2 are available. So let's see how many powers of 2 are available. Powers of 2. How many? So 100 by 2, that is equal to 50. So 50 plus 50 divided by 2, 25, plus 25 divided by 2, 12, plus 12 divided by 2, 6, plus 6 divided by 2, 3, plus 3 divided by 2, 1, plus there is no meaning to proceed any further. 50, 75, 87, 93, 96, 97. So you can see 97 powers are available. So 2 to the power 97 is available. How many powers of 3? Same way you can find out the powers of 3. How many powers of 3 are available after all? So 100 divided by 3, 33. So write 33 here. Now keep on dividing to find the next number, keep on dividing by 3. 33 by 3, 11. 11 by 3, 3. 3 by 3, 1. So 44, 40. 7 powers are available. 47 powers are available. So basically you have 2 to the power 97 and 3 to the power 47. Whereas you have to create 24. 24 means pairing of 2 cube with 3 to the power 1. So how many 2 cubes are available from this? How many 2 cubes are available? So 97 by 3. Only 32 units are available. 32 units. Whereas this 47 units are available. 3 to the power 147 units are available. So how many pairs will get created? 32 pairs will get created. So 32 pairs will be generated. 32 pairs will be generated means what? Highest power of 24 that will be able to divide is 32. Therefore required answer 32, because only 32 pairings can be completed. Limitation is there because of less number of powers of 2 cube. So this is available in less quantity. Let's take the next example. Find the highest power of 80 that completely divides 80 factorial. So let's understand what is 80. 80 is equal to 16 into 5. So this is the pairing. These are the elements of pair. So partners of the pair. So let's see how many powers of 2 are there. How many powers of 2 are there? So factorial, 80 factorial. So divide 80 by 2. 80 by 2, 40. Now to find the next number, keep on dividing by 2. So 40 by 2, 20. 20 by 2, 10, 10 by 2, 5, 5 by 2, 2, 2 by 2, 1. So these many powers, 60, 70, 75, 78 powers. How many powers of 5 are there? Divide 80 by 5. 16. Next, 16 by 5. 3. 3 by 5, meaningless. So 19 powers. So it means you have these many powers of 2 and these many powers of 19. So you have to create 2 to the power 4. So how many 2 to the power 4s are available? So divide 78 by 4. So 19 units are available. And here you can see you need 5 to the power 1. So 19 by 1. So here also 19 units are available. So 19 complete units are available for both the partners. So required power. So required power 19 complete pairs will be generated. How many trailing zeros are there at the end of the number, or how many trailing zeros does 60 factorial has? So what is 60 factorial? 1 into 2 into 3, this product up till 60. Now question is, how many trailing zeros are there at the end? So let's suppose there is a number 87,000. So how many trailing zeros? 3 trailing zeros at the end. It means it is completely divisible by 10 cube. That's why 3 trailing zeros. So instead of asking how many trailing zeros are there at the end, the question can be rephrased as, what is the highest power of 10? What is the highest power of 10 that will divide this number? So question can be rewritten in this manner. Trailing zeros, 3 trailing zeros, that means the number is divisible by 10 cube, 3. So if the number has n trailing zeros, then it will definitely be divisible by 10 to the power n. So we have to find the value, maximum value of n. So let's see. So you have to worry about creating 10. So 10, the pairing elements to create 10 are 2 and 5. So 1, 2 pairs with 1, 5, 10 gets created. So basically you have to wonder how many powers of 2 and 5 are available for pairing. So each 5 requires each 2. That means 1 multiple of 5 requires 1 multiple of 2. Now consider here, there are limited numbers of multiples of 5, but sufficient number of multiples of 2. So there are limited number of multiples of 5. So limitation is due to powers of 5. So it is useless to count that how many powers of 2 are available. When we actually understand that limitation is going to get created by powers of 5, then why should you waste your time in counting? So let's suppose 1000 powers of 2 are available and only 17 powers of 5 are available. So only 17 pairs are going to get created. So why worry about this? Limitation is going to be because powers of 5. So limitation is due to powers of 5. So concentrate only on calculating this. So concentrate only on counting how many 5s are available. How many 5s are available for pairing. So this is the concept. When you are asked to find the number of trailing zeros, so don't bother about 2, simply bother about 5. So the ultimate meaning of the question changes. So the meaning of the question now becomes 100 factorial is divisible by 5 to the power n. That means how many powers of 5 are available in 100 factorial. Question was something else. Question was how many trailing zeros are there at the end. But if you analyze deeply, this is same as asking this question, that what is the highest power of 5 available in 100 factorial. So you know how to solve this. 100 divided by 5, 20, next 20 by 5, so 4, next 4 divided by 5, so meaningless to proceed any further. Answer is 24. Here question is not 100 factorial but 60 factorial. So instead of 100 factorial, question has been asked on 60 factorial. So this is the real meaning of the question. So let's solve this. 60 by 5, 12. So start with 12. 12 divided by 5, 2. You cannot proceed any further. So 12 plus 2, 14. So whenever the question is to find the number of trailing zeros, instead of this, the meaning of the question is this: how many powers of 5 are available? Next one, how many trailing zeros does 99 factorial have? So 99 factorial, so meaning of the question is this, that what is the number of powers of 5 available in 99 factorial? So let's solve this. Divide 99 by 5. So this is equal to 19. So start with 19. Next 19 by 5, 3. Next 3 by 5. So meaningless to proceed any further. 19 plus 3, 22.